I, Napoleon by Ted Racer is finally here. We're going to rebox the components and talk a little bit about the game here today on Legendary Tactics. I, Napoleon is one of the more interesting games I have come across. I honestly didn't know much about it until a little bit before my interview with the designer Ted Racer, and it is quite a fascinating design and very unique. There's lots of cards. There's 220 cards, each depicting an event in Napoleon's life, people that he knew, various wives and mistresses and battles and all sorts of things in there that are used essentially to replay Napoleon's life in a varied way each time. And it's a really, really interesting setup. You have all these cards to help you organize the different eras of his career, and cards get placed into different countries like France or England or Austria or whatever, and you have to worry about the diplomacy with other nations. You can make these treaties you can see here. They have campaigns and so forth that you need to contend with and prepare for. So there's a lot going on in a very interesting interface. I'm just going to put these cards back in the shrink wrap. It's just, it makes it a lot easier when you're sorting it later, when you're setting things up. So there's a handful of counters. I think it's 40 in total, something like that, most of which are just used as reminders. So there isn't a lot of counters even to worry about. So I'm just going to put these back in the frame. It's, again, easiest way to store these things. A lot of them are just there to either track the alliance level or sometimes the amount of different points that you may have. There really isn't a lot of tracking or anything like that. It's in stark contrast to something like Mr. President, where there's lots of counters tracking all sorts of things. It's a very streamlined design in that way. So we're going to put these cards back in the box. As I said, there's a lot of cards, but you kind of need them all. It's a little bit tough sometimes to, especially your first go through, to know which cards come in when and all that sort of thing. As you can see, there's lots of personalities, there's lots of history, and it really is a game that encourages you to look into more of Napoleon's life. There's a lot of events that happen that really don't necessarily have a ton of game impact and don't have a lot of meaning for you necessarily, but they were an important aspect of his life. And so by replaying these events in a different order, it's really interesting to see how much the timing of things matter. And there's lots of baggies there, although to be honest, I don't know what I would use the baggies for. They almost have more baggies than they need in this case. The board is a beautifully mounted board that has lots of space for helping you organize things. It looks great. And I think they did a great job with the artwork on this one. So we're going to put this board back here. We're going to just take those counters again, and we're going to take another quick look before putting them back in the box as well. And after that, we have the player aid, which I prefer using mainly for the campaign battle mat. It kind of helps keep the campaigns organized. Not that you need a lot of organization for it, but it just helps. It's very well done. The playbook gives you the historical context on all the cards, as well as an example of play, and a few designer's notes, of course. Got to get those. And the rule book right here is not too thick, and it's reasonably well organized. There's a lot of heavy lifting that the cards do, so the rules of play just kind of guide that aspect of things. And that's the game. In terms of components, that's basically it. So we're going to put this back in its shrink wrap here. My daughter's helping me with this. But I have to say, I've got limited play experience with it so far. Just a couple games, but it is a really, really intriguing system. And again, as I said, very unique. I can't think of any game that is quite like it. And I'm also excited about the possibilities of other historical figures where a similar system or the same system could be used to allow you to relive their lives as well and learn more about their personal history and the events that shaped them and the world around them. So, and just for the extra special care of this game, because I do like it so much so far, I'm going to put everything back in the packing peanuts in the box here. And it's a lot of fun to put these all back in the box. It's never gets old. And anyway, that is I, Napoleon. So I hope you enjoyed this reboxing, and I think you should check out the game and see if it's something you might like.